Hello. Welcome back to Piggy Pen.
The Piggy Pen.
The Piggy Pen. And we are skipping Throne of Us because neither one of us can deal with that right now.
Gotta get the thoughts together.
Yeah, true. And we also want to make some pretty funny shirts, so
look out for it.
look out for those. But today we're going to be talking about Gone by Michael Grant. You know me, I fuck up authors' names all the time.
Little Mikey G. But yeah, do you want to introduce why you want to talk about it?
Because I read it after Throne of Glass, and it was a roller coaster of emotions. I was just messaging you the entire time, being like, "What the fuck is this book?"
Yeah, and then I had the pleasure of reading it when I was 12.
Look
Look at the rattiness. I take care of my books. I really do.
You know what? That's a sign of a book that is loved.
Yeah.
And I love the warning sign on the back of this.
Warning, contains scenes of cruelty and some violence.
Some
violence.
There was a bit in the book that I'm just like, okay, we just brushed over all these fucking deaths that just happened.
Do you want to do a non-spoilery bit or just go straight into just discussing it as a...
I think we should discuss it as everything, because that's what we did with Twilight.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
I mean, we didn't spoil a lot with Twilight, I don't think, but we talk about the main plot points and stuff like that. So...
But yeah, so what's the book about, Becky?
It's a dystopian, I would like to say.
More like a sci-fi that becomes a dystopian inside of itself.
Yeah.
Because they make their own society, which children shouldn't do.
Because there's the Stephen King book called Under the Dome. And I haven't seen it, but all I know is people get imprisoned under a dome, which is what the Simpsons movie is about. Which kind of like
what this is.
This is like this one, but with young people.
Yeah, because one day everybody all disappears, and their little apparently small town in Southern California is just enclosed and they can't get out, and it's literally just
what the fuck happened.
Everyone under 15. So it's like.
So all the 14-year-olds and everyone younger than that are the only people left in this town.
I was so fucking shocked when I read it again, and I was like, they're 14!
Yeah, I know. Because a lot of the problems that I had with the book, I didn't have very many. I've only written down the problems I've had with it. Which, 4 pages? That's not very many problems. Is that I find it very unrealistic that 14-year-olds are making all these big decisions. Because I'd be like, okay, if it was like 15 or 16-year-olds, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that... Because you're kind of becoming who you are going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think that's like kind of a problem, but like then on the other side of things, it's probably a little... I don't know, I feel like 14-year-olds would adapt a lot better than 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because they'd just be like, okay, it's different now. And then, like, they do all the crazy stuff that they do.
True.
And, like, sometimes they do, they definitely do act like they're 16. Or, like, and I'm like, why didn't you just make them 16-year-olds?
Yeah.
It's actually, like, later on in the books, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable reading 14.
Yeah, I read a spoiler, and I'm just like, okay. Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, because I feel like when I was reading it, I got a lot of vibes from that series on Netflix called The Society. And I'm just like, okay, like, they're a bunch of, like, older teenagers in high school. And I was just like, yeah, that's fucked up, what they're doing. But it also made a lot of sense to me because they were older and, like, they know what they're doing is fucked up. But a lot of these young kids in the book, especially Drake, it's just like, oh, okay, you were, obviously raised different than others.
You were a bit more sociopathic than
and
most 14-year-olds.
There's always that one character in the book, but I feel like we have multiple of those characters in this book. So Kane as well.
Yeah.
That's how I pronounce his name. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kane. That's what it is.
That's how I said it anyway. But like, I think my biggest issue with the age of them is how like, I get that it's from a 14-year-old's perspective, but, like, the sexualization of the girl characters was a bit much for me.
Especially Diana.
Yeah.
I really liked her as a
liked
character.
her. And he's always like, oh, she's so sexy. She's so aloof. She's got, like, her little hooded eyes. And I'm like, excuse me? She's prepubescent.
There was a scene in there where, like, this might be a trigger warning, so I thought maybe Kane did something to her, and it just sort of, it was like if it was a movie or a TV show, it'd cut away from it and it would be spoken about later, but it never was. So I thought he maybe did something inappropriate to her. There's in the later chapters at the school when they're up at Coates, and I was just like, ooh, that's a bit frightening, because Kane, like, with his, like, whole public figure and everything, like, he seems a lot more confident than what he is when he is with Diana. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then something flipped inside that boy.
Yeah, like, he definitely, like, you have the relationship between them where he's a little bit more open with her and softer.
Yeah.
And then, like, she's kind of using him to get her own means, because that's who Diana is. And, like, snaps for Diana.
I know. I fucking loved her. I loved her. I'm just, like, scared if she was going to die. Because I really liked her. Like, I like her as a character. Liked. When I say she's already dead.
You liked her in this book. And you don't know about the next couple.
Yeah, true. But I thought she was very good, like, you know, bad girl to have on that side. And I didn't think she was, like, too bad. She wasn't, like, you know, Drake level.
Yeah,
I thought she was the right sort of medium for this book.
She's definitely more, like, you've got the stereotypical aggressive bad guys like Kane and even Kane's a little less, but, like,
Kane is, like, the sort of
manipulative and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, and, like, he's doing it to everybody, but Diana's literally only does it to everybody, but she's only doing it to get what she wants and she'll be safe, rather than, like, she doesn't want to rule the world. She more just kind of, like, wants
she's
to
just
be
like,
safe.
I just want to be safe.
She's like,
I do not feel safe.
I just want it, like, if the power's going with Kane, then she'll go with Kane, but if it's going with Sam,
she'll go with Sam. Yeah. But the with Diana's ending in the first book, I thought was a little bit weird, because I thought she might stay with Astrid and Sam and the rest of them. But then she was just like, oh no, I'm the bad girl. I'm
gonna peace out.
I can't, you know, be with you. And I was just like, was there a love triangle that I didn't even notice in there?
I think she definitely tried to woo him.
Yeah.
And, like, that kind of thing. But then, like, she was like, I'm gonna go back with Kane.
Yeah.
Because he gives me what I want. And I'm like, girl, you're 14. You shouldn't want anything from
No,
me.
you shouldn't. It's really messed up.
Oh, girl. You got a big storm coming.
I know. I read the back of this Hunger this morning, and I was just like, oh, okay. It's intense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be fun. I really liked Lana and Patrick. The dog and the girl.
I was like, who the hell is Patrick?
Patrick is the dog.
Yeah,
How could
Patrick
you
is
forget
the
that?
dog.
Honestly,
Lana is amazing.
When I thought, like, in the early chapters when, like, the grandpa or, like, her uncle or whoever it was driving the car, I'm like, this cannot end well.
And it
And I
didn't.
can't believe it spiraled so quickly. And, like, I don't know what I would do if I was in her situation. Like, she was literally dying by the side of the road, and I was just like, holy shit. And then I thought Patrick was dead. And then that was a weird flippy moment where I'm just like,
did they kill the dog already?
yeah, I know. I was just like, oh my god, that is so messed up. And, like, what Lana goes through, like, more than any of the other characters is the whole, like, coyote pack being, like, really
creepy. And she's alone through the whole time. Like, everybody has each other. And, like, they go through, like, she thinks she's the only person left, like, at all.
Yeah, because, like, from that, perspective, she's like, well, my uncle / grandfather
I think it was the grandfather.
Yeah, I think it was the grandfather. Has disappeared.
Has just poofed. And then so...
and, like, it's just me and the dog. And I'm like, is the dog gonna poof? Like...
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, what, like, do animals over the age of 15 poof? But then I...
Clearly not, because there's snakes with wings. And
yeah, true.
Coyotes.
But yeah,
and I'm just like, what did little Pete do? Honestly, fuck the world.
Little Pete, what a sweetheart.
Yeah. But it's seriously fucked up. And I feel like the whole, like, power thing that they have is really interesting. But I also like how some of them don't have it. I feel like that was, like, that was a big issue, and I'm like, why would you care?
Are we talking about Quinn?
Yeah.
Fucking Quinn.
Quinn is like problematic.
I know.
He's a problematic boy.
Mm-hmm.
I really did not like him.
He's so
I hope he
annoying.
gets better, because honestly I hated him in this book.
I know. He's like, oh, I'm your best friend, but I'm gonna hate every single decision you make and everything you do because you have cool powers and I don't, and you're getting the pretty girl and I'm not, and you're getting the or like everyone looks to you and no one looks to me, and I'm like.
But that's how that, like, it's weird because it seems like that was their relationship, or like friendship, or however you want to call it, was before the whole like snap happened. And I feel like after that happened, he began to realize like, oh, Sam is so much cooler than I am.
And it's like,
and I'm just like, why do you care?
I know. I mean,
honestly,
that's where probably the 14-year-old thing comes in.
Yeah.
So he's 14.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, some are going to adapt differently. And he's just along for the ride. Because, like, initially when it first happens, it's, like, Astrid and Sam that kind of do stuff about it, and then Quinn's just along for the ride.
But they go to Quinn's house first, which I'm just like, okay. Like, because he was being a whiny little bitch about it. And Astrid's all like, we have to find my autistic brother. And I'm like, wouldn't that be a priority?
My young autistic brother. Like, isn't he, like, 6 or 5 or something?
He's 4 or something.
Yeah, and he's severely autistic.
He's
so
very... very young compared to the rest of them, and I feel bad for him because I'm just like, he like is trying to like block out everything that's happening, and I'm just like, so much stuff happens to like Pete that I'm just like, but also when he's like older, I'm like, that boy gonna be super powerful.
Yeah.
And possibly a danger to him and others around him.
Yeah. Like, there are so many like bits in this, I guess, first book that, like, are just, like, little things that have just stuck with me since, like, I first read it, and I remember being, like, absolutely horrified. It's, like, when they...
Sorry, look at my crazy notes.
When they all get to, like, when they all gather up and they all realise that everybody's gone, and it takes them days to think of, let's go check the houses. And, like, the babies.
Yeah.
Like,
that whole scene with the baby.
The
and Sam doing it.
babies?
But the thing is that I think Sam asked Quinn to go into the house and grab something, and then Quinn was like being a little bitch about it. It's just like, did you not know what Sam just did to that? Like, not weird, like, but weird. But like, he didn't do anything to the baby. He just
had to get it.
Get it because it was dead.
Yeah.
And I was
dead infants.
I don't know, but also like the time between it, I'm just like, I don't know how long it would take for a baby to die. And like, it must. I feel sorry. Like, it was really sad reading that. Like, part of the book.
And it's like they wouldn't like be able to take care of a lot of them anyway.
No.
Like, at that age. And that part like stuck with me, that I was like horrified for days after reading it.
Yeah.
But like, it is a very
but there's like
horrifying series.
It like goes between like these lows and highs, because it goes between being like kind of normal to being like super crazy. And I know. I love all the little like side characters that like take up really big roles in the society, like Albert with the McDonald's. Yeah, Albert with the McDonald's. His thinking is so cute. He's just like, I might get a job here if everything goes back to normal. Like, there's sweet moments in it, and like the whole thing with Mary.
I love Mary.
Mary being like, she's got her own issues too, and she's taking care of all of these kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bitch, that would be me, because I'd be like, my first thing would be go check the houses for kids that, you know. And it's messed up.
I know. But
like the whole kids coming down from Coates and everything, I'm just like, where do you get off, mate? Stay up there.
Oh, the Coates family. Yes. They were the best, like, twist thing, though. Because, like, you're, like, they're struggling with all this, like, horrible stuff. And then, like, the Coates kids come down and they're, like, terrifying.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's all be friends.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
they all go into the church.
And they go into the church.
You know what? The one thing I didn't like in this is that Kane and Sam are brothers or twins or whatever you want to call it. And I think that is really weird. I'm just like, you could literally have the same story with them.
And not being.
Yeah.
I think, like,
him just being the bully up at Coates.
I feel like some part of me is like, I like it, and then other parts, like, I think it's good for Kane's character development, but it doesn't really do anything for Sam. Because for Kane, it's like, well, their mum chose to keep Sam and put him away, like, and sent him elsewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is Sam is always like, this is my mum. And, like, obviously he wasn't adopted, but Cain knew he was adopted. So there's this whole, like, bit where it's just like, oh, Sam is kind of going undeveloped here. Because Cain needs to develop to get on his level, if that makes
Sam's
sense.
kind of a bad protagonist. I didn't like him very much.
I don't know. He was a bit mad. Yeah.
He's definitely...
The only character I really liked was Lana.
Yeah.
And Diana.
I think he's a good character in the way that he's taking care of things and, like, he's
rising to the occasion. But the thing is that it's annoying because he doesn't want to in the beginning.
He's very against it. And it's like, well, people are looking out, like,
people are looking up to him because he has this reputation. Like, he saved the bus that day, and also he tried to save, like, the little girl from the fire. And
he's just like
people are like, well, you are the town hero, so you have to
it's like
get up on that pedestal, mate.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting kind of protagonist, but, like, sometimes it just doesn't really, like, I don't know, he gets so boring halfway through. It's like,
yeah, there is a bit of a lull in there when you're just like, what is happening? And also, like, Drake. I did not like him one bit, only because I was just like, he's gonna hurt people and himself.
And he's gonna like it. That's what Drake is.
It's kind of true, though. I feel like he is an interesting man.
Children, Becky.
Yeah, sorry. There are so many moments in, like, the book where I was just like, yeah, okay, he's not in it anymore. But I feel like he was brought back a lot from things he shouldn't have been, like, brought back from. Like, just for the plot purpose. And I'm just like, couldn't his character been replaced with someone else? And I'm like, I get there needs to be, like, you know, a constant sort of, like, going forward with the story, especially in ones like these. But there was a lot of moments where I'm just like, okay, he should be dead.
Yeah.
Especially after Sam, like, blasted his arm off. I'm just like, this is the end of Drake. He's not coming back after this.
Yeah.
And then there was the whole bit where Lana got kidnapped and was just like, he's like, you're gonna fix my arm. And I was just like, how did he even find her? And then there was that whole bit where he went up into the church, like, steeple, and saw Sam turn the boat around and go to a different area, and he's like, aha, I know where you're going. It's just like, okay, criminal mastermind.
Like, no.
And, like, especially in the hotel scene, that was a really intense, intense scene where I'm just like, Astrid and Pete are about to die. This is messed up.
Man, I'm like vaguely remembering all these things from, like, later in the series, and I'm like, ooh. Yeah. But, like, what did you think of Orc?
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up. I thought he was gonna be like, oh, that's, like, the stereotypical bully, but he's not actually the bad guy in this. I didn't really have much time for Orc or his friend
Howard.
I was just...
Spoiler alert, Howard becomes my favourite. Oh, okay. For no reason. I just remember loving him in the later books.
It's not because I didn't like them. I was just kind of like, okay, you're the alcoholic ones that don't really want to do anything for the town.
Howard's such a little bitch baby, too. He's like,
he can't do anything without Orc, though, because, like, Howard, like, goes back down the hill, and everyone's like, where's Howard going? He's like, he's back to Orc. Who knows?
He's going to Orc. Like, I mean, what bros?
And something is happening to Orc. He's, like, turning into, like, the Thing from, Fantastic Four? Yeah,
little old gravel boy.
But he's all like, oh, this is my punishment from God. And they talk a lot about God and Jesus and all that, like, biblical stuff in there. And, like,
I think
I'm very confused because I'm just like, is it going to come back to that? But, I'm very confused and intrigued what the darkness is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? How are they... It's like manipulating the coyotes as well. And I'm just like, what is going on?
I just remembered a couple of things that
Shit. From the other books.
It gets really intense.
Great.
If you know, you know. But yeah, there's definitely... But a lot of things that have stuck in my mind.
And I feel like there is, like, with everyone turning 15, I'm just like, did they have the choice to stay?
I know, like...
Because when Kane and Sam like get approached by the mystical monster or whatever you want to call it that looks like their mum. Did everyone see their parent? And get confused?
This is a question that I know the answer to, so you find out.
Oh, okay, excellent.
I think, like, you know the answer to it. But yeah, like, that's my thing, like...
But I'm just like, is the darkness and this monster connected? Are they working together?
I guess,
Are
like,
they partners?
From a literary standpoint, if you take the end choice to stay, it's like a big part of Sam's development because he's being like saying no, he doesn't want anything to do with them. He wants, like, he doesn't want to be in charge and all that. And then at the very end, he has to like actually make the decision whether he wants to leave them or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's really like, I think that's probably the purpose of that being there, but then it's also actually has some influence in the story. So it's kind of like, is it just a literary thing or is it a...
well, I think
it is a thing in the book. But like, you know, did Mr. Grant be like, ooh, that's a way to do it, and then have to go through with it in the other books? Because it's kind of my least favourite aspect of the book, if that makes sense. I don't like that that's like all they have to do to not blip out is to be like, actually I want to stay.
Yeah, because there was that whole thing with the other character, I cannot remember his name, at Coates, and they wanted
Jack?
I can't remember his name, sorry. He's not in it for very long.
It's not Jack when they watch him blip, right?
Yeah, they get all the cameras and then they see the monster, like, through the cameras, and I'm just like, hang on, what the hell?
So it's
and, like, I'm just like, oh, okay, so they see a monster when, like, they poof. And it was very, like, interesting, and I'm just like...
Yeah.
So do all the characters... Like, because you kind of see Sam and Kane as the main characters, like, the protagonist and the antagonist, and then like do all the other characters get that choice? And like, so what's going to happen to Astrid? Like, because without Astrid then Sam's not really stable. Do you know what I mean? Because she doesn't make him, but she like inspires him to rise to the occasion in a lot of moments. And
it's like I guess like with that kid that they film, like I'm pretty sure I remember him being really scared, and then like they see the monster and then his face gets really serene and he's very happy. So you'd be thinking he'd be seeing like his parent or his sibling or somebody who he like feels safe with, and then that's why he goes with them and he blips out or whatever.
But I'm just like, in my mind I'm just like, when they blip they actually die in real time, or like, do you know what I mean? Because I'm just like, obviously this monster isn't a good thing. Like, it's masking as, like, someone I care about. So, like, what is happening? And...
me sitting here knowing things.
Yeah, because I'm just like, so when they, like, and I'm just like, also, like, what happened to the parents with the, like, radioactive meltdown happening on the other side? I'm like, where are they? Are they even in Earth anymore?
You don't know, but I do. I remember. I'm actually kind of sad that these covers came out because these ones are kind of ugly now, but like pretty.
These ones are pretty, and then it's just like, hello, like, horribleness.
Are fine, I think.
Those ones are fine. The very first cover, it was
with the
really,
people.
It was really bad.
Is that with the people?
Yeah, it's with the people on the cover.
When they're just looking into the distance.
Just like, oh my god. They don't even look 14.
They look like 17.
Yeah.
And it's like... But yeah, that was my little tangent about... I'm just staring at the back of the covers and I'm like, that's such a nice read.
I just love how it's just like, I love these books. Stephen King.
Yay,
of course
Stephen
you would.
King.
Mr. King.
So
why are people like so mean to kids in books? Is my big question.
I know.
I'm keen to see where it goes because...
You know, there's like, 7 other books?
But apparently, I found this thing, and apparently there's like season 1, which is like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 others, Lies.
And then there's the Monster Trilogy?
Yeah, because then that's season 2.
Is the Monster Trilogy. Yeah, I never finished this series. I never got past the last one. I got halfway through it and then I got scared. And I was like, I can't keep reading it because something bad was going to happen to a character I liked. And I was like, it doesn't happen if I don't read it.
Yeet out of it.
And so I never got around to reading it, but...
Well, now we have to.
Now I have to.
Now you have to.
Now I have double reason.
I have to not relive, but I have to live the pain.
Yeah. I'll be reliving it and you can be experiencing it for the first time.
Just sending you all those messages like,
what the hell is happening? But it's good because I did read this one again last year with the plans of finishing the series and then I never remembered to. But now I can.
It's very good. I've been meaning to read it for a very long time. I've been meaning to read it since year 5 and Stephen, who sat next to me, started reading it and I'm like,
that wall.
It was this covered book, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Just the person in the middle of...
He's running away.
And I'm just like... But yeah, it sounds really interesting, and I feel like I was hesitant to pick it up because I'm like, it's so big.
Because like when you're like 12, it's like, that's a hunk of a book.
What is it?
It's like 300?
No, it's 500 pages.
How is it 500?
Yeah.
It's tiny. I'm always really surprised when I go to the map and I realize how big like the
I know. But like
circle is.
Part of me was like I was having problems like visualizing the actual town they lived in because
you get that.
I was like, is it like rural? Is it like city? Like, and I don't know America either, so I was really lost.
Yeah, it's very
and I'm just
small.
like, all of a sudden we're out in the desert, and I was just like, what's
it is
going
hard
on?
to like keep up with.
Because I'm just like, well, if they had to cross the sea to get to Lana, she was on the other side on that small little island bit, and I'm like, what?
You're like, excuse me? But yeah, it's just fucking confusing.
It is. So I had like really, so I kind of pictured it like the society set up. In like, and like the streets, there was like bigger streets and stuff like that. But yeah, I also had time picturing the characters as well.
Yeah.
They normally just end up being like blurred faces with like hair.
Yeah.
Because normally I try to picture like how I think they would look like if an actor played them. And I was just like, I'm confused and lost. They're 14 years old.
What does a 14-year-old look like? Yeah, no, because I usually go onto like Pinterest and like just Google like portrait things until I find something that like has the basic description of a person and I go, yeah, but then I'm like, they're 14, so everyone I'm finding is like 20 something.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm like,
yeah, so I was a bit like,
and they're also attractive for 14-year-olds. They're all
really
so good looking.
I didn't picture Quinn like that, and I definitely did not picture Sam like that either.
That was sarcasm.
Oh, were you?
Well,
I didn't even notice.
All the girls are super attractive. She's gorgeous.
There's like
looking,
2 of
and
them.
I'm like I get it.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's Diana and
Astrid. But the ones that they go in deep with is Astrid and Diana.
Yeah.
Which every time I read her name, I'm just like, Astrid, because my cat's name is Astrid.
You're like, oh, my cat is now the love interest. You just picture Astrid running around.
No, I pictured her a little bit like if Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon was actually a real person is how I kind of pictured her.
But yeah, like I definitely, there are definite more female characters that get added in. And
good, because I'm just like, this is very male orientated. And also like add in some people who aren't straight, that would be nice.
Yes. Please do that.
Do they? I'm guessing they do because of that
I will say I was irritated, I'm not like reading it again because I know this character is like later they're confirmed as being gay or queer. I don't know what kind they are.
Howard?
No, not Howard. I mean maybe. I can kind of like pick up on things a bit more. But when I was first reading it, they had a relationship with like someone who of the opposite gender that I was like, that's really cool. And then they were like, I'm gay, like, and I was like, I had spent 3 books rooting for this couple, so I was so peeved off. But like looking back on it, I'm like, well, I think they kind of lay the groundwork in the first couple books for this character to be not straight. So I was just being a baby.
I think I might know who it is, but I'm gonna refrain from saying stuff.
Okay.
Until I can confirm.
Okay.
In my own mind.
Okay.
That is that person. But yeah, it was very like, damn, what's his name? I've forgotten his name.
Little Pete, Hawaii.
Oh, that bit really annoyed me. I'm just like, are you stupid, Quinn?
Quinn is just very stupid. He has no thoughts.
I'm like, it shouldn't be hard to find his name.
What kind of character is he?
Isn't he the one from... How would you pronounce that?
Adelio.
Oh! I just started calling him Eddie because I was just like...
I think it's Adelio, but like, I would probably...
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, when you know when you just don't know how to pronounce someone's name in your head and you're just like, okay, that's their name. You just keep
I love him.
Him and, like, Lana, they're just like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. Like, can we not? Because, like, like, it's cute, but it's just like, stop trying to pair everyone together. We already have got 2 couples in this book, maybe 3 if you want to count Orc and Howard.
Yeah. Orc and Howard. There's something going on. I gotta remove. I was reading this and I was like, Jesus, this kid is obsessed with Orc. Like,
and I'm just like, is Orc his real name? And then I looked it up, and it's just like, not his real name. Like, he has a name before Orc.
Oh, okay. Well, you never know. Americans, no offense, do name their children weird things sometimes.
Yep.
Like, I read a book and the main character's brother's name was Crispin.
That doesn't seem too bad. Crispin. Like, as in crispy?
Yeah, with an I-N of the, instead of a Y, so it's Crispin. And I'm like, I guess it doesn't sound that bad, but like when you're reading it, you're like, huh?
What the fuck is this word?
And it's like when they name, like, people Devon, and it's
I know.
I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but like, Devon means baloney over here.
Devon, yeah. Or like they call it Devon. Like, some of them actually pronounce it Devon, but other people will be like, no, it's not Devon, it's Devon.
No, Devon. And then I'm just like, I want to eat some Devon. But yeah.
Devon is meat over here.
Yeah, it's baloney, I think they call it.
Yeah. I don't think it's the same thing.
I mean, it's the shitty little, like, meat all squished in together and then it's baloney.
I'm gonna have to get a picture of what it actually looks like, so because people are gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
They all get the excess and just that's Devon. But yeah. Any other characters or complaints or praises you have for the lovely traumatizing
oh my god,
of my youth?
When we actually get taken up to Coates, that was a bit fucked up. I was like,
scarred me a second time round reading it again. I was like, I forgot all about this. I'm like, what have they done to all these kids? Oh!
I had a bit of problem trying to visualize what was happening, but I think I kind of got it. Because it was just like, oh, concrete. I'm like, oh my god, they're going to drown them in concrete. That's really weird. And then that wasn't what it was.
No.
They're like cupping their hands together.
They like put their hands in concrete and let the concrete set. So they just had a block of concrete walking around with their hands in it.
Oh, I imagined it. It wasn't like, I don't know how I imagined it. It was like poured over like the wrists.
Because I think the point of it is that like, well, I mean, that's how I envisioned it anyway. I'm not like, I don't remember if it was real, but like, because like you have to use your hands to use your powers. So they put your thing in there.
Don't you mean the power? It's not powers.
Well, the power, but like, whatever power they have. So like, they do that so they can't use them. And they can't.
Oh.
And then like when they
but what
when
about
they
the one
break
that can
out,
run real fast? I'm like, this shouldn't stop you. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did this.
This shouldn't stop you. Yeah, like I think you just kind of need it. I don't know. It's a bit but like, I love that bitch though. The Breeze.
The Breeze, yeah, I know, I love her.
She's so cute. She's just like,
and then
I'm the Breeze.
Yeah, Sam's all been like...
She's like the actual one who acts like a child.
Yeah,
like,
she's the one that acts like a child, but she's like, I'm a superhero and I will save the day. And I'm like, bitch, better be in the next book more.
I love the Breeze. And then there's the, is the Gravity Girl in this one? Okay.
Yeah.
I love her.
I don't remember her name.
I know.
I'm sorry, there's so many characters to keep, like, track of that you only kind of, like, remember, like, a few of them. Like, you remember Drake because he's the most annoying. You remember Kane because he's the bad guy. You remember Sam, Astrid.
And, like, these ones were added in.
Adelio and Quinn, but, like...
I know there's Decker and Dara, and I get those two confused, and I don't know which one's which.
There's too many people.
I'm like, they both start with D, and they both, like, end with A. And I'm like, I haven't read the book in at least a year, so I'm like, I don't know which one's which.
But yes, it fucked me up.
Yeah.
Is what pretty much going with. And Jack's pretty cute. But he's so, like, submissive
Gullible, yeah.
and gullible.
She's like, Jack, help me out. And he's like, oh my god, yes, Diana, I'll do anything. And she's like, thank you. And I'm just there like, I don't know.
You made her voice so sexual.
That's what she's like though. And I'm like, why? Like, she puts it on and it's like, you're 14. I don't... Like, when I was, like, 12 reading this, I was like, oh my god, wow, they're so old, oh my god. And now I'm like...
Thank God, because this book used to be in the, like, kids section. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It was right next to Mortal Engines, and then I've read them both. I'm like, this should not be in the children's section.
Either of them.
I'm just like, if you're a book store owner...
Move them
to young adults.
Or like put a sticker on it and be like, if you're buying this for your child.
Because there may be a warning at the back, but look how big it is. Yours is bigger than mine.
Warning.
It's just like, we've smallarized it so people won't know this book is actually traumatizing.
Yeah. Like, and it's, ugh. I know they'd like, 2009. But yeah, I don't know how far they've gone, but I know they're trying to make a TV series out of it. And
I wish they would, because I was telling my mum about this book and she's like, let's watch it. I'm like, no, it's a book.
It's a book.
I'm surprised I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, because like,
because
a lot
it's quite good.
When The Society came out, a lot of people were like, damn it, like, now that this has come out, like, and since it wasn't too well received, like, people liked it, but it wasn't...
Like, okay, with The Society, we're going off on a tangent right now, but we'll come back.
It's tied in.
Background. First episode, amazing. Second, crap. Third, crap. Everything was crap until, like, the last episode, which I think was the 10th one. So, you could literally watch the first and then the last one and still know everything that happened. Because a bunch of, like, unimportant stuff happens.
Yeah.
Maybe you could watch, like, the first and the second episode and then the last... The one before the last one and the last one.
And you'd be fine.
But they killed my favourite character off in that one.
Sad. But yeah, like, I remember when that came out, people were like, well, at first they were like, oh, maybe, like, this type, like, they'll be interested in doing a Gorn series if this one does well, because, like, they're very similar.
They did really bad. Like,
and then it did come badly, and they were like,
The Society did crap.
And then I remember there's, like, a, something that I sent you ages ago that was like, hey, can I copy your homework? But yeah, like, just change it so it doesn't say it was this series of The Society.
Yeah, because I remember I started watching The Society, and I'd only watched the first episode. I'm like, Claire, you should watch it because it's really good. And then I'm just like, don't watch it.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it because it just reminds me too much of the Gorn series.
Yeah, I know. And then I'm just like, oh, I've been meaning to read that.
Also, like, I did watch, like, I think some reviews on it and some stuff, but my only question is, what happened to the bus driver?
Yes, that's my question. What happened to the bus driver,
What happened to the bus driver?
Honestly,
Did he just go, oh, everyone's gone and I'm trapped in here. I'm just going to hang out in my house and get drunk.
The thing that, like, what you don't know is that there's a way to get back to
so maybe he just figured it out and was like, I'm just going to leave all the children.
I'm pretty sure he, like, it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's just like a plot hole that's kind of funny.
Because nothing is answered, it's just teen drama in the middle of everything. Whereas this one is actually good. It mixes teen drama with, like, actual, like, problems that they're going through. Like, dealing with, like, the death of, like, friends. Especially in the beginning, like, with Betty. Like, oh my god, she didn't even do anything wrong.
Betty was so sad.
I know, I was just like, actually like, oh, she's an interesting character that will come back. No, we killed her off. This author kills off characters without even thinking about them. She's like, I cannot have a favourite character in this, so I won't. It's Diana.
It's Diana. Yeah, no, like, he definitely does.
Because there's a whole, like, massacre that happens with the coyotes and the children, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's
okay, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's very...
Sam just goes to the beach with Astrid at the end. It's just like,
no. It's like, it's very odd to me that a lot of the decisions that were made in writing the book are so dark, considering it's for children.
I know, especially if it was, like, placed in the children, like, section.
I mean, it's not for children. It's, like, for young adolescents through to...
Because, like, it depends on how you age your characters, but if they're young, it's normally for people that...
Younger?
No,
like 2 years.
Isn't it? I thought it was meant for people that were older.
No, I always thought it was, if you write a book with a 16-year-old protagonist, you should be aiming for a 14-year-old to read it. And, like, obviously that doesn't always happen.
No.
But, like, because, like, with this series, they're 14 and I read it when I was 12, 13.
Yes,
And
you
so,
shouldn't
like-
have been.
And so, like, that's kind of a thing. And it's like, the stuff that does happen in it is very adult, I find. And, like, there were definitely things that I was reading, when I was reading it, I was like, I shouldn't be reading this.
No.
And it's not like it's like, you go into, it's not like you're 12 and you pick up Twilight and you know it's for an older audience. It's like, you pick up this because you think it's for, like, your audience. And it's written for your audience.
Twilight,
and then stuff that happens in it is like, oh, the children are dead.
Twilight is different to this because, honestly, recommend Twilight before I recommend this to a 12-year-old.
Yeah. Because it's like,
Because
traumatic.
low-key, there's a lot of traumatic things that happen to these characters, like, and they're just like, a lot of them are like brushing it under the rug. It's just like, oh, that didn't just happen, just Betty's death? No.
no, Betty's fine. Betty was so sad.
I know. And it's sad because it's just like,
who did that
yeah.
too?
That's why when he's turning into Stone Man,
He's like, I would deserve it.
Yeah.
So like there are times when like big things happen and they do severely impact the characters, and then there are other times where they don't. And you're like, excuse me.
Like that whole concrete thing, it's just like, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Lana's gonna fix everything.
Or just turning into a concrete man in front of their eyes, and they're like, hey, Orc, we need your help. And he's like, I literally want to die. They're like, we need your help. And he's like, leave me
Let
alone.
me die.
I'm turning into concrete. And then Howard's there like, oh, please, I don't know how to breathe without you.
Please. Do you need more alcohol? I'll go get
I'll
you
go
some.
get you more alcohol. I'll find you some drugs. I'll do everything for you, man.
God.
What buddies, though? Howard can get it.
You're only saying that because you love him.
I don't know why. I was reading it again and I was like, I couldn't remember who my favourite character near the end was. And then I was like, oh my god, it was Howard. Why the hell was it Howard?
Oh my god. Okay. Most hateable character.
I mean, the easy answer is Drake.
Yeah.
But then there's
Definitely
Quinn.
him. Oh my god.
Quinn-
It's between Quinn and Drake at the moment.
I liked Drake because he was trying to be a bad guy, like, you know. And then, like,
No,
Quinn was
like-
just, like, an idiot. And was like, I'm gonna tell them where you're hiding because I'm jealous. And it's like, that's
Okay.
your best friend.
It's like, did you forget everything before the
I also,
okay?
I think I actually disliked Kane and Sam the most.
Yeah, but okay.
Kane was just so annoying.
Kane is a little bitch baby that is
Like,
upset.
he's
And I'm
like-
just like, okay, I'd be upset if my mum,
I
like,
know.
didn't choose me over
He just
my
has
twin.
mummy issues.
He
And
does.
I'm like, oh my god.
He
And
has
at
big
least
mummy-
Drake's being fun with it. And it's like, oh, you know, I'm evil. And
The whole
Quinn's,
whip
like,
arm,
interesting. That shit's so
didn't,
cool.
I didn't know what it was because, like, how it was described. I'm like, oh my god, they gave him a snake as an arm. Maybe I'm stupid.
That's why I sent you, I'll give you a secret. And I sent you a picture of a snake emoji.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Oh my
talking about
god,
his
I
snake
don't
arm.
remember.
Oh god, it was so funny. And you were like, yeah, he seems like a snake. And I'm like, because like,
I don't remember that.
But no,
But yeah, no, that bit with, like, Lana and, like, Drake and everything, I'm just like, what is that?
I do.
The darkness is a snake, that's what it is. I'm like, the darkness is low-key, like, everyone's parents.
just massed together.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just sort of...
bleh. That would be so fucking weird, but interesting. Yeah, like a flesh ball. Gross. I wouldn't put it past him.
But yeah, he's messed up. And then, like, I just, like, in my mind, I'm like, how does that work? My mind's still, like, getting wrapped around, like, how does a whip arm work? I'm like, this is the one. Slice and dice. Oh my god, send me this so I can...
I'll find it so you can put in the
That's not how I pictured him at all.
No bad.
No bad.
But like it's
Aww, now they're humanized to me, Claire.
Oh, he's humanized. And then it's just
That one's my favorite. I think we finally killed Drake.
Drake. Hi.
I have that one already.
Yeah, I'll send you the other two, and I'll probably I'll put in who did it so we can credit them because like they deserve it.
Yes.
Because
Of
it's beautiful.
No bad.
Yeah, so I think I like Drake because I find him more interesting than Kane.
Yes, he's definitely like
And more scary than Kane.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to become the main bad guy. But the thing about Drake is what makes him not a threat, is that he doesn't have the power.
No,
He's got a snake arm, but bitch, I would have been like to the darkness, like, bitch, really? Come on,
you gave me this.
You gave me this. Of all the things you could have given me, you give me a floppy thing.
Yeah. A flippy. I already have one of those. Anyway, my next question was gonna be favorite power.
Favorite power? Ooh. See, like, I kind of like Diana's because I think it's interesting, but I wouldn't personally want it because I think it's useless.
You'd be so miffed, like, oh, I get to tell how powerful you are.
Oh my god, just by touching you, I know you're a level 1.
Like, how powerful does that make you? Like, level 0?
Yeah, so that's interesting.
I'm a big fan of the healing.
Yes, I'm a big fan of the healing, but I'm also a big fan of the gravity.
Yes, I was gonna say, like, the other one.
So when you become, like, when she becomes, like, more intuitive with her power, I'm like, she's gonna be rockin'. I don't remember her name, which I'm
it's either Decker or Dara, I swear. One of those are from Coates, and the other one's from the town, I think. And I just can't remember.
Yeah, because it's the girl from Coates that has the gravity power, because they saved her.
I'm like...
But then Kane's power also, like, really confused me when it was first introduced.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, oh, an earthquake. I'm like, oh, so he's, like, an elemental. But then I'm like, no, that's not what he is. And I'm like, also, I feel like...
Okay, it's Decker. Decker's the one with the gravity.
Oh, excellent.
Cool. And then Dara must be the one back at the...
But I feel like with Kane and Sam's, like, superpowers, I feel like they're not matched at all. Like, I'm just like, one can... do like Iron Man things without the suit, and the other one can like
move things.
Like, I feel like Kane is utterly fucked in that department.
It's like, I'm so surprised that Kane didn't die at the end of this.
I know.
He could just go pew.
I know, it's because Sam is like reluctant to use his power. I'm just like, stop being a bitch about it. Just use it.
Just kill them.
You shot Drake's arm off, but you don't want to kill your own brother. Okay.
That you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, exactly.
Until,
it's just like, stop pretending
ended.
you have emotions for Kane when we know you don't.
Would solve a lot of problems down the line.
Excellent.
Would be doing him a favour.
Oh shit, okay. Spoilers.
Spoilers. But yes, I'm very excited to hear your opinions on some certain things that happen in this one.
I'm like not hesitant to like read it, but I don't.
You're like hesitant, you.
Yeah. I mean, I went out and bought all the others just on reading the first one because I'm like, oof, this is gonna slap.
Yeah, I don't remember disliking any of them.
I remember
Except
there's
maybe the last one, but that was because I didn't finish it because something bad was going to happen to one of the characters I liked, and I was like...
I feel like in most books there's like bits where you're just like, I don't like that. But that was literally me every time Drake got brought back to life.
You're like...
stupid means.
Oh,
I'm just like, oh, this again, okay.
let me live.
Maybe this time and I won't die inside.
It's like, Jesus. Yeah. Good old Drake. Plot armor for days.
Yeah, he does. I'm just like, you shouldn't have lived through that, but you did.
And like,
congratulations.
There he is on Lives. And...
Yeah, I know, because I was just like, thought he was dead, and by the end of like this one, like, obviously we know he's not. And then I sent a picture of you of the third one. I'm like, I guess this bitch is in it for another 2 books then.
Yes. Only 2.
Yeah, only 2. I'm sure he's in the entire...
Hopefully.
I'm sure he's in the entire
Let's pray.
Series.
Yeah. I definitely like, yeah. These characters go through some shit.
Definitely. But a lot of them don't want to acknowledge it, and I think it's because of the younger age. I think they'll start to accept it a little bit more when they're older. I'm assuming that a lot of them decide to stay. But, like, I kind of want it to be, like, something that's just for, like... Sam and Kane. Do you know what I mean? Because like I feel like if it's
too easy,
unique to those two, like they have a bigger purpose than everybody else. But if it's not, it just feels like, oh well, those twins at the beginning, I guess they shouldn't die, so you know.
Yeah,
that twin bit was so good.
I know.
Reading that, I was just like, oh my god, I can see that being in a TV show.
And they were like, oh yeah, it's our birthday, and you're like, excuse me.
He's like, what? And then one disappears and then the other is gone. It's just like, oh.
Oh, it was so sad.
It was really sad, but it was really like impactful piece of writing that I was just like, wow, I can actually see that happening. I can like piece by piece put that together in my mind, how that would be like in a movie. It would be such an intense bit, and if like they don't have that bit, if this is made into a like TV show, I will be mad.
Yeah, like there are a lot of bits like that that are just so vivid, and like you're like whole like the bit that like sticks in my head is with the baby, and they like open the door and there's like a dummy on the floor, like, and you just instantly are like shit. Like they left a baby.
I feel like there's a lot of those moments with Lana as well. And I feel like not many people like her, like in the town, like within the story.
She's
like,
kind of like the outsider.
She is massively, but I'm like,
but then like
one
the
of the
Coates
best
people come in and it's like, be nice to her.
Right.
Coates' rights don't exist.
No, I really don't like them.
I know.
The only one
Diana
I like, I'm just like Diana
like
is the exception.
I like Diana, and then like the ones that they like in prison.
Oh yeah, but that's different because I'm like they're not.
They're Coates, but they're not Coates. Like Coates, they're not that main group.
Yeah, they're not that high on the pyramid. They're like here.
They're like way down the bottom. Like they had their friggin' hands like dumped in concrete. Like they've been through enough.
I know. I wonder what like everything with Jack, him being like super strong, is gonna be like you could literally take on Drake. Just
you could just
boom.
Yeah, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 more books to figure out how this massive problem is solved.
I know. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be solved. Plus, like they didn't tell me like a lot of spoilers. We were in that class which was called Writing for Young People, and we had to bring in like a book that was meant for like what we thought was meant for older readers, but was targeted at like children. And someone was talking about Gone, and I was just like, maybe you want to read it.
Yeah, there's so much stuff.
I hadn't read it at that point, and they were talking about like Sam and his story in the first one, being like, oh, but he decides to stay, and I'm like, so I knew he was gonna stay. Plus, like, he's kind of the main character, so I assume that anyway.
How interesting would it be if he like poofed though?
Yeah, and everyone would be so fucked.
I know.
I'm very interested to see what happens when people poof, but I know at some stage, I don't know if he was talking about this one or another book, or if he got confused. But apparently there's this, like, a moment where you can see on the other side of the dome for, like, a split second, and I'm like, interesting.
Yeah. I do recall that.
So I do know.
You know.
Shit. I won't say any more because I feel like it's spoiling other books for people, but... I know that's as much as I know, though.
That's us gushing.
Because he was just like, because he also said, this guy who was talking about the book, he's like, I don't want to spoil anything because it's so good. You have to read it yourselves. I'm like, shit, okay, depression, here we come.
We gotta go in it. Yeah.
Love that.
We gotta gush over it.
Oh, it's so good, though.
I know.
But bad.
I know.
Don't read it unless you're mentally ready for that. That should be a warning in there. Like, they should probably have a bit of a warning before that because it's a bit much to take in. Like, I haven't read many adult books that touch on the subjects that they do on this one. Because I feel like there is a potential that this could be an adult book.
Yeah, it definitely touches on the worst parts of, like, humanity. It's kind of Lord of the Flies-esque, but then extended into 6 books over 500 pages each.
Yeah. This one feels like it's gonna get intense because it's called Hunger.
Yeah.
And then the also the one called Fear sounds intense too. So, who knows?
We gonna get
I'm not prepared for my sanity. My sanity's not prepared.
I'm definitely like, there's so many bits in this book that I'm like, Becky, read it already. We can talk about it.
I'm in a bit of a reading lull at the moment. I know, it's
disgusting.
Really okay, I'll read it then, God.
Instantly read it now. How many pages is it? I'll have a look so you don't spoil yourself. Ooh.
The dome is gone, but gone is back. Oh, okay. That's
what did I just say? Ooh. And there's the Phase. What a cool name.
Oh, I call it the Faz.
Oh.
I probably said it wrong, but I was just like, the Faz.
585. But yeah, I think it's the Phase.
Because,
like, you know, a phase. Like, you're going through a phase.
True, but...
Don't spoil
No, I just want to look at the other books. Okay, it's just this. So there's Gone, then Hunger, then Lies, then Plague, then Fear, then Light. I feel like I said that so fast.
Gone, Hunger, Lies, Plague, Fear, Light. Do it faster.
I can't, I'm laughing too much. Oh my goodness.
No adults, no rules, no
This
script.
one looks bad. People are gonna die in Plague. I mean, people are gonna die in this one too because hunger. That's the main thing I was worried about in this one. I'm like, they are not planning like anything. They're not planting crops.
Ahead.
That's where it makes it real clear that it's just like these are young people. They would not think of this thing being a thing.
Yeah, and then it's like, it's so surprising that they like make it as far as they like. I don't know. I can't remember the time period of how long the series goes for. I don't like.
Yeah, because this first one is like going back to like when the baby died.
Yeah. That
problematic topic. I'm like, how long did they wait until they decided to go looking?
Because so like 299 hours, like 300 hours. How many days would that be? Because that's how long this one is.
Siri, how many is 300 hours in days?
It's 12.5 days.
So just under 2 weeks.
And
like babies need food all the time, so it's kind of like...
True.
So that's like, I think it's literally like a day or 2 or 3 days that they don't go looking for a baby. Like,
yeah. Poor Ting.
Yeah. R.I.P.
That's a sad note to talk. Just to end it on, let's think of something else.
Do you actually like any of the relationships, like romantically? Like Sam and Astrid?
Oh no. I think that one, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, I get it, but I'm also like, in the end, she's probably going to leave him and find someone as smart as her.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, Astrid is super smart and Sam is dumb.
I know.
Not that you need to be with someone who is like, matches you on the same level, but I'm also like, Sam, you were stupid.
Yeah.
Just
no thoughts.
But yeah, I didn't understand their relationship.
I know.
And I feel like I didn't really understand Kane and Diana's, but I understood it more than Sam and Astrid's. But also, like,
I understood it from Diana's
I stand for Diana.
Yeah.
I love her. She could do anything. I'd be like, I love you still.
No wrong.
Also, I just love the name Diana. Because I'm just like, oh.
It's very weird to me to jump into this conversation because I just read Anne of Green Gables and there's a Diana in that. She's very different from this Diana. So everyone's like, Diana, I'm like, Diana Barry? No.
Me, I'm just like, Lady Di? They are all very different.
Well, very
equally beautiful.
Very different. But yeah, I do love Diana.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I don't remember who like my favourite character was in this one though. Like, so I don't think it was Diana when I read it again. I think
I could probably name the ones that I hated more than the ones I liked.
I think I purely didn't like her because like there was just such a weird taste in my mouth after reading like a million times that this 14-year-old is sexy. I'm like, no, she's not. She's prepubescent.
Plus,
and
like,
disgusting.
It's definitely like you can tell it's written by a man because of that. Because you can tell.
No wonder Stephen King likes it. Shots fired.
I only know because of what you told me.
Score out of 5.
Oh, I think I gave it 4 on Goodreads.
I know. I think I gave it like in my head. I gave it like 5 out of 5 when I read it for the first time, and then I think
because I'm just like 5 out of 5. You know.
I know.
But I think I ended up giving it 4 because I'm like it's not. Because it's just like the levels that they give you on Goodreads. I'm like, it wasn't excellent. I did have my issues with it because there was a lot of moments where I'm like, There it is.
There it is. I gave it 3. When I read it again, I gave it 3 stars.
I gave it 4.
Yeah, I did have...
Even with its problematic moments.
Yeah, I think reading it again, I did have my issues with it. Mainly just because I didn't get into the story as much as...
Because I sped through that. I've read it in like 4 days. Because I was like, oof, this claps.
Yeah, I didn't get into it, like I wasn't into the story enough to give it anything more than 3 stars when I first read it for the second time. Plus, like,
I feel like
there's 5 other books.
I feel like
it's gotta
if this is the standard, then the others must be fantastic.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we have for you. Thanks for
God.
joining us in the Pig Pen today.
Well, we gushed about Gone by Michael
I
Grant.
thought you said go on, Mike.
Go on. Well, gore. No.
Gore.
Because it's full of gore.
It is. High warning. If you want to read this book, gotta be mentally
nasty.
ready.
Yeah, it's very nasty.
And then, like, people will go and read it, be like, bitches were freaking out over nothing. I'm like, no, we weren't. No, we weren't.
Like, even on, like, nope, it's bad.
Anyway, next time we'll be doing Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
Because we feel like we need to actually try with that one.
Yeah. Make a plan.
But this one was
attack.
just for fun.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the book I remember you reading the most in high school.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And this was a book.
Yeah,
I know. This is a book I've been meaning to get around, and a series I've been meaning to get around to reading for a very long time. And I guess we'll probably be doing the others on here as well. But yes, it has been a hot minute since we've done this.
The shame. It's because we had to read Throne of
Throne of Glass. It's because we had to read a terrible book that was. I read this quicker than I read the other one.
It took me so long to
That's
read
what
that
you know what, we'll say our opinions next time you see us, which may be a hot minute too. Who knows?
We will figure it out
We will figure it out.
later.
Peace out.
Peace.